Welcome to the final sesh. Let's have a sesh on online distribution channels. So online distribution channels are basically just distribution channels where you use the internet. The most common two would be when you have a distribution channel from the producer to the consumer, but you use e-commerce or m-commerce, or where you have a distribution channel between the producer to the retailer to the consumer, but the retailer becomes an e-tailer because they are using e-commerce or m-commerce to sell the goods to the consumer. Remember, e-commerce is just basically using the internet, and m-commerce is when it's on a smartphone, so it's mobile commerce. So the pros and the cons of using online distribution channels. The first one is access to a wider market, and also it's easier to get access to that wider market. Remember, you're going beyond your locality, you're going beyond having a shop in a town or a city, you've got the whole world at your disposal. Also, you're open 24/7. So that's a fantastic chance to make even more sales. And because you're going beyond your locality, you might be able to export. We've got a globalized industry, you can loop that in. So exporting becomes an option. As a consequence of having exporting, well, you could have strong international demand. There could be another country that likes your good or service even more. So you might have strong international demand. And you could seek that out because you could do targeted marketing for that international or local demand. The second thing is reduced overheads and reduced fixed costs because you don't have an outlet. So you don't need to pay for the outlet. You don't need to pay for the electricity, the overheads for the outlet. So there's no outlets required, no rent, and no rent being a fixed cost. So it might be that you've actually lowered your break-even output. And as a consequence of lowering your break-even output, you have increased your margin of safety. So you've reduced your risk. Also, you might need a warehouse because you still might need to be able to store stuff to send it to your consumers or to the retailer. But look, you don't need to go for an expensive city location here. You could use a cheaper location. The third thing is, because you're using the internet, you could use online marketing tools because you might be able to target specific audience. You could use segmentation for this, but you could do it through internet marketing tools. Also, you could gain insight on your existing customers. And if you're going to look to do product development, you could work out what your existing customers want even more of, and you release that product down the line because you can look at the tools you've got, the data you've got through using the internet, which you couldn't get elsewhere, offline. The cons of using online distribution channels. Well, the first one is clearly you need a website. You need a website to sell stuff on. The cost of creating this website is going to be a cost. The cost of maintenance of this website, the cost of improving this website. You're going to need developers to do all of this. They're likely to be skilled labour, and you're going to have to pay them a higher wage. Also, you're going to need training for your staff, maybe, for maintaining that website. All of this is more costs. Secondly, customer service, because you're using e or m-commerce. You're not using face-to-face conversations, so it's harder to provide customer service. So that could be a problem. It could affect your reputation. Also, you might have to improve your website functionality as a result that you haven't got the customer service that you can provide in store, so it might need more costs. And the big problem is, for some things, think about shoes. Well, you can't try them online. So maybe there's going to be less demand for certain goods because they're the type of goods that people want to try before they buy. And that could be a concern because that could reduce sales. And another con or evaluation point to think about is that if you are going into a globalized market and you're looking to export, well, it depends on the exchange rate. If the pound is cheap, then that's going to be good for exports. But if the pound is strong, then it's going to be bad for exports because they're going to seem more expensive on the international markets. I hope that helps. And that's me finished.